From the wind-chilled tundras of the Arctic to the dry dunes of the Sahara.
Fire is what made us.
Each dish represents something of who I am.
It was a fundamental part of our evolution to become great farmers.
Every mouthful has driven human evolution.
These are how our ancestors survived.
Invention and progress.
Our food system is in deep trouble.
A story 2 million years in the making.
We forget that our food's alive. We forget that most of those stories are totally mysterious.
Of what was.
These flavors can take you back to the earth.
Is.
It changed the staples of whole continents.
And will be on our plates.
Welcome back, folks, for day 2 of the Dell Futurist Community Cup. I'm your host, Cap Nadia, and I'm joined by, once again, Kiran Shades, Nujibel, and our expert analyst and former pro, Nikhil SK Brutality. We've had one awesome day of 10 streamers and 10 cafe teams competing as everybody starts their journey in esports. Dell Futurist as a platform enables new age careers driven by technology so that youth across India can follow their passions like art, photography, filmmaking, app development, and now esports and streaming as well. These guys are all competing in 4 days of epic PUBG action just for you guys that you can watch across Facebook, or you can even watch the streamers themselves. We had an exciting day 1. SK Shade, take us through what happened.
So Danny, yes, I mean, undisputed right now, sitting at a nice lead, I'd say, but then he still has to battle it out. Miramar Sandhawk day 2 is going to be interesting, like I said, because we did discuss a lot about the terrain changes. We did discuss a lot about the strategies because, you know, a lot of the teams yesterday were playing on the edges of the map, and then, you know, we had 15 teams in phase 4. So if we have that sort of exciting round here in Miramar at phase 4, I'm going to be stoked to see that happen. And again, like, you know, we saw some big plays from Accelerate. We saw some big plays from Amit Kolzera from IR. I don't know, man, action-packed. There's like too many favorites at this point in time, but I do want to see some of the other big teams. You know, I want to see Sick Warriors team. I want to see LXG's home team, you know, step it up today and then maybe bump up the scoreboard again and shuffle it around.
Yep. Yeah. I think day 1 pretty much went how I expected to, the first 2 maps. First map, of course, Erangel, where teams had a little bit of info about how the other squads are going to be playing. And we did see, in fact, the victory going to the squad that actually did the scouting well in the early parts of that round. They landed in Lepovka. Luckily, they had the circle going in their favor. Beautiful rotation through Milta Power and eventually towards that south eastern side of Milta, where they managed to somehow make it through into where a zone where there was, I think, 4 squads. It's LXG team, Danny S's team, Rotti's team, even 2 players from Sick Warrior, and eventually beautiful victory there. And second map, of course, Sandhawk. I think that was, again, first time we've seen it competitively played in India. So we saw a lot of fights going down.
A lot of
kills. A lot of individual prowess being shown. Accelerate there at the end. What a clutch. That man showed for a fact that he is good with everything, right? Yeah. You had that M24 knock coming in, and then the kill secure with the M249, and then the final nade coming in for the clutch.
It was a 1v3. I mean, brilliantly played. Let's jump on to Miramar because the game has gone live, and oh my god, this circle right now, because everyone, just as I predicted yesterday, moved completely away from the middle. There's only about 3 teams. There's Rotti's Den, and we have team number 20 who are basically around the middle of the map. And then we see this drastic shift, right, all the way to the bottom left of the map.
So the plane path was actually down the middle, right?
Straight down the middle, right? It went from...
Yeah, just top of the...
It basically went through San Martin and Hacienda all the way to Los Leones. And I'm surprised that nobody's taken Los Leones, right? There's just one team, that's the LXG team, that's around Los Leones, that's the good part. That's the god buildings, as we like to call it, which have the maximum loot. But then if you look at the bottom left of the map, there's like this huge cluster of teams, right? We got Robo's team, they're all on vehicles.
Yeah, so if we quickly switch over to the other observer, you've actually got some people still parachuting down. You've got Wrong Pass driving through, Robo Squad got in. So it's going to be one initial fight that we can expect in the first few minutes. And earlier on, in fact, I think one of the LXG1 team members actually ran his own teammate over with a car.
I think that is pretty much a signature of this tournament, right? We had that happen, I think, a couple of times yesterday already, and day 2 seems like it's going to be no different.
And we see, I think this is the other team, right? All the way in Puerto Periso, which is the bottom right of the map, we have team number 18 and team number 10, which is Google X God versus GG2. So this is, I think, the closest fight we're going to see in the first few minutes because everyone else is scattered around. And this area especially is going to favor Google X God's team because they got the little buildings, they've got the God buildings, whereas you see the whole of GG2 right now pushing out towards backtrack. And it all depends if Oromloff is going to spot them out. But it seems like they're all moving together. Let's just look at what sort of loot they're carrying. So they do have an SKS on them, on Umrul. They have 2 SKSs, whoa. They have a shotgun and they got a micro Uzi. So we've got 2 snipers and then he gets a SCAR as well. So these guys are decently kitted. First aid, they just have about 2 first aids between the 4 of them. And we see Elo kind of spotting out already. So they have some sort of an idea that, hey, there is another team with them. It's just who's going to hit the first shot and get the first knock, which is going to start creating all the panic.
Yep, and it's also promising to see so many 6Xs, 8Xs being picked up early with the sniper rifles, and it is Miramar where you do see a lot of long-range duels long drawn throughout the entire map. And looking at the top 4 teams, I'd say from yesterday, Hydra, Roti, Danny S, Wiki, regardless of the order in which the fights were taken, it was pretty much one of these squads eliminating the other. I think from map 1, it was Hydra, Roti, Daniels, all of them fighting each other, and it just so happens Wiki managed to sneak his squad in there with Wade Z and eventually get the cleanup and the victory. And in the second one, we saw on Sandhawk, it was Roti who was managing to while Daniels eliminated Hydra. So it's pretty much come down to these 4 kind of having like their small little mini match going on. Let's see how that kind of plays out here on Miramar.
So, just as we were talking about the other squads, Robo seems to have drawn first blood this map. So good for him. He's playing with a man down, but he did take out one of Roti's Den, MLG, right? It's one of Roti's Den's teammates, who we saw in the vehicles around. So he's got the first kill of the game. Props to this guy playing with a man down. And they've actually got a decent Los Higos drop, and it's gonna be a while before they even move around to this section, and they just have like 2 other members to deal with. I think it should be a piece of cake.
The first airdrop has dropped. It is west of Los Leones, nobody near it, and we've got an AUG suppressor, full level 3 kit, including the armor helmet and backpack. So that's gonna be a big jackpot for whoever decides to get there in time.
And we did see quite a bit of squads yesterday actually going for the airdrops as well in those matches, and I think it was the M249 itself that eventually won the game as well on Sandhawk. So SK, do you think it's going to be something teams here are going to try risking going for those airdrops this early in the tournament?
I think they should risk it because look, we're having a look at WikiRex, who's making that big rotation into the top end of the map, right? So this is a long journey for them, and you see their kits. They've got a lot of first aids and stuff on WikiRex. They just got like an AK, no first aids on map, and he's making a rotation with pretty much level 1 armor and nothing else, right? And they need, so teams like this who's going to like enter the circle, right? See accelerate. If they spot the drop, that's a good way because it's empty, it's uncontested. These are the drops that you need to go for early game, knowing that hey, you have the positional advantage. If you've spotted the drop, it's like a level 3 kit just straight off the bat with an AUG, possibly one of the most powerful weapons in the game. But like we see, the middle of the map again, following day 1, it's completely empty. I don't know what kind of it's kind of weird because a lot of teams, like you see team number 5, right? Blitz zone, they're all the way in the north side of the map and the zone's pushing. So that's 2 vehicles with possibly a fuel can that's gonna, require for them to like make it all the way here. Then we have Frosty Pudge, we have Real Rotty's Den, we've got ITGC, we've got team number 13, Sunny Mine. So they all have to make these big rotations. And guess what? Once that happens, everyone's going to end up around the Picardo region, end up around the hills. And we're going to see a lot more fights happen in the next, I think, in the next 2 phases.
I'm actually interested in what Hydra is going to be up to, because they've got a very good spot here. They're at a crossroad where I think almost everybody has to cross. And here, Coldzera, he's got the entire LXG squad in front of him. He's down 2 of them and blows up the vehicle and gets the full squad wipe there. As I mentioned, they lost some momentum early on because they actually wasted a lot of time picking up one of their team members after friendly fire road rage. And now they drove straight into Coldzera.
SK mentioned this yesterday as well. Miramar, not one of the maps where you want to be driving out as well. Lots of terrain, you end up easily getting picked off, and there we see the LXG squad going down early in. We also discussed the fact that whether the squads should actually go ahead and utilize the middle of the circle early on, a place where they can just straight up take a compound and hold that spot. We saw a lot of edge camping, and eventually squads who were rotating in late into the circle just getting picked off straight up for the fact that they were moving into 4 or 5 squads. So let's see if some of the squads have actually seen the words from yesterday and have adjusted accordingly.
Yeah, we see like Wikirex's squad made the rotation, have made it to the left of the map. So you want to be around this area. There's a lot of hills. There's like the whole of Chumacera, and the second drop is also in the map. So we have this region, and we see still about like 8 teams outside. We have Sick Warrior right here. He's going to enter in pretty late. We have Apis who's making his way down north of the map. So the south region, prison seems pretty empty. I think Rongpas is probably like the most looted right now. Let's take a look at the second drop and see what's in it.
Yep, once again, nobody around the drop for miles, and we got an arm. Perfect weapon for Miramar, if you ask me. If you've got somebody who can handle a sniper rifle, you give him the arm and you let him go to work. That's at least 20 guaranteed down. And Pro Doge, I think, falls to his death somewhere in the distance. SK, where is the action happening?
So I'm actually looking at Sadie Boy right now because he is separated from his team and he's miles away. So you see,
I think he's just scouting.
He's taken the high ground and he's completely like got all vision of Chumacera. He's got vision all around him. But there is one stray member of Team 2, which is the LXG team, who's actually come and scouted out a decent compound just left of Sadie Boy right now.
That is in fact Nandi, who did split away from the rest of his team that I'm on scouting duty. Same with Sadie Boy. We also, I think, saw one of the players, Blitzkrieg from Rotty team number 3, also scouting in that general direction. So more or less all these teams know for a fact that there are going to be squads moving into these.
And Sadie Boy spotted out Joker. 2 hits, 78 hit points. That was a headshot straight off the bat. Now he knows someone's there. He knows Joker is going to be hidden there. He's going to take shots at the rest of the members of LXG. And now this is going to be crazy, because now he's going to basically isolate Joker by taking off that vehicle, taking the tires off the buggy, and he's going to mark that out for the rest of his team to possibly like push in.
Yeah, but they've actually got Cosmic Whitey's squad just driving up behind him, if I'm not mistaken. They actually drove past the first airdrop right now, did not see it, because it's FPP, and this is what they were looking at. Unfortunately, it was literally 3 feet from them, and they missed out the AUG suppressor and level 3 kit. But now they're coming up on Sadie Boy. They're literally a couple of 100 meters from him. There's no way he hasn't heard the car SK. Let's see what Sadie Boy is looking at right now. This can turn into potential disaster for Cosmic Squad if they go by without looking at him.
And in the distance right now, we have Kakashi, who's taken down Wades, waiting for the next peak on Ghostly Boy, and he whiffs it completely. So Kakashi was alone, no teammates close by, and we've got Adi trying to watch his back, but there we go. Pops a shot, misses.
He's got the entirety of Wikirex and team to go, and eventually will connect in, but long range 3x with the M4. He can get some serious damage done here. You can see that left and right dance off coming in, but it does look like they will safely make it back into the buildings there.
Great suppressing fire there by Adi, ensures his teammate Mayday are alive, because he realized it's a ridge. They're going to have to come forward or jump down to finish him. And doesn't matter what weapon he has, he just has to scare them into thinking that it's going to be a big fight. And now he's going to down on their vehicle, making sure there is no escape for them. In the other side of the map, We're going to try and see some fights while you guys watch Adi, pick off some tires.
And Oromolov manages to get a couple of knocks as well onto a couple of players on Cosmic 5G Cruiser and Co. will get cleaned up. That is going to be the entirety of Team 16 off the server early on.
Into thinking. Yep, unfortunate for Cosmic Whitey, if you do not have a compound and you're driving, there's always a chance that you're going to be driving into someone unless you get that position early on. And here Google X God's team, they made Cosmic Whitey pay and picked up the 3 kills.
Yeah, we in fact expected them to run up to Danny Yes's team there, Sadie Boy and Co, but instead it was Google X God.
And I think...
Alright, here's another incident that happened here. Ghostly Boy seems to have finished and then knocked himself out at the edge of the ridge. But hey, Wiki Rex in here to rescue his teammate. Gonna res him on, it's like a weird ledge. I think he fell off the side of the cliff.
And took too much damage.
Yeah, and he took way too much damage. So that's fine, he's completely fine. Let's take an aerial look at the map and see how the circle is shifted in phase 2 right now.
Yeah, we're still heading towards the center of the circle, but now we've got a lot more teams. I think if you stick around Ghostly Boy a little longer, you've got, I think...
Yeah, that is team number 5.
Yeah,
Blitz
that's
coming
in from above them. And that's going to be a huge vantage point if they can just go towards the edge and start spotting them out.
Yeah, looks like Team 11 though is going to slowly make their way more inwards there, and they're just going to barely miss out on the incoming Blitz team there, so they should be able to make it back into the circle, find a nice little spot there.
Yeah, all of Google X God here driving by LXG. Joker deciding not to shoot at the first car, but he spotted out Endeavor, does a bit of damage, does a lot of damage. He's going to have to reload. He's got 360 bullets. He's going to try and put that to use. The vehicles have stopped. They're going to be looking to take this fight as Joker is going to town, but doesn't manage to do anything more than a little bit of damage onto the second vehicle and its, well, passengers.
Yeah, kind of anticlimactic there. He did have that small window of opportunity.
Yeah, I think if his teammates backed him up with the spray down, they would have had at least 2 of the players.
But I think Olaf is actually going to hunt. He's pushing towards the LXG team, right? He's got the 3 kills. He's warmed up and he actually looking for blood now. He's left. He ditched his vehicle as soon as he got shot. Not healthy at the moment, but seems like he's that on-ground scout, which is not a smart move. I mean, they did stop the vehicle for him, but he didn't get in. So I wonder what's going on in Oromolov's head right now.
Yeah, here on the other side, we've got a full firing squad of Team ARPS. I think that's Shooting Pandas, if I'm not mistaken. Going to town on Zone Cafe too. They've got them from high ground. They've got to move towards them. They're stuck behind ridges, and on the other side, you've got one of the strongest teams in the game, Rotty's Den. If they can find these guys under fire, they can just pick them off from behind for easy kills.
Yep, ARPS and Co are going to be a little sad from the result from map number 2 yesterday. That was pretty much their game to win there. 3v1 at one point of time. We even had Danius knocked down there, but eventually they got outplayed there at the end, and they're going to be looking to bounce back strong here on the
And in the distance, we do lose one of our streamers, Google X God. Sadie Boy, the solo scout, again picks off Google X God while he
Welcome to our new series on the thrill of riding. In the first episode last month, we talked about the nuances of sport riding on the road. And remember, this tutorial is to make you a safer, better and more confident rider on the road. It's not to race on the road and it's not to